Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. I believe many people have heard about the news that China restricted the shipment of rare metal materials such as germanium and gallium in July 2023. This move can be said to be very uncomfortable for the United States and the West. After all, the vast majority of germanium and gallium in the global market come from China's exports. These two rare metal materials have key applications in many fields such as aerospace. What the United States and the West did not expect was that after restricting the export of germanium and gallium, China announced a new export control ban on August 15. This time, China restricted the export of antimony and some superhard materials. China is also a major exporter of these materials in the global market. This actually means that after China restricted the export of antimony and superhard materials, the United States and the West were once again stuck in the neck in certain key material fields, and even foreign media said, "It has cut off the firewood from the bottom of the pot for the West." From this statement, it is enough to see that China's restriction on related materials has had a very serious impact on the development of various industries in the United States and the West. In fact, many materials are not only owned by China. Related mineral reserves, including rare earths, germanium, gallium, antimony and other materials, some countries in the United States and the West also have a certain amount of reserves. At the same time, Mongolia, Malaysia, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and other countries also have rich mineral reserves. It can be said that if the United States and the West want to obtain minerals themselves, it is not difficult. However, from the current situation, the United States and the West are still unable to get rid of their dependence on various materials from China. The main reason is that they lack the relevant complete industrial chain and various technologies and equipment. This time, China's restriction on the export of antimony materials is more uncomfortable for the United States than restricting germanium and gallium. After all, the United States actually has certain deposits of germanium and gallium, and it also has mining technology, but it lacks fine processing and other technologies. It is very dependent on China for high-end germanium, gallium and other materials. Antimony materials are different. Even though China has mined a large amount of antimony materials, it still has more than 50% of the world's antimony material minerals. Basically all of the antimony in the United States comes from imports from China, and the degree of dependence on Chinese antimony is very high. Most importantly, the country with the second highest antimony reserves in the world is Russia. It is also unlikely that the United States can obtain enough antimony materials from Russia, which means that it is very difficult for the United States to find an alternative supply chain. China has also restricted items related to superhard materials this time, which are actually some relatively complex products, including various materials such as artificial diamonds. According to the analysis of some industry insiders, China's restriction on the export of superhard material-related items this time is not only to strangle the neck of the United States and the West, but also to make India and other countries uncomfortable. The most important thing is that this time China not only restricts the export of materials themselves, but also some materials finishing technology and basic raw materials. This actually means that China is starting from the perspective of the entire industrial chain and accurately pinching the 7 inches of the United States and the West. These materials have very important applications in the modern science and technology industry, and many industrial chains in the United States and the West will be affected this time. In fact, China's restriction on the export of these materials this time is essentially similar to the previous restriction on the export of rare materials and core technologies. On the one hand, it is to launch a reciprocal countermeasure against the United States and the West. In recent years, the United States and the West have been restricting the shipment of various advanced products. Especially the United States has repeatedly revised chip rules to restrict the export of various advanced chips, technologies, equipment, and materials and foundry services in the industrial chain to the Chinese market. It also took action against Chinese electric vehicles and other products and imposed tariffs. China's restriction on these materials is also a reciprocal countermeasure. Only by making the United States and the West feel pain can we avoid the United States and the West from imposing various restrictions unscrupulously. On the other hand, China is also to further promote the development of the domestic market and industrial chain and protect core technologies. For example, China restricts the export of large-scale shield machine equipment and technology, and 3D printing equipment technology, to prevent these advanced technologies from falling into the hands of the United States and the West. China's restrictions on the export of germanium, gallium and rare earth materials are not only to further regulate and promote the development of the domestic industrial chain, but also to prevent the domestic-related industrial chain from falling into the situation of large-scale shipments of low-end products. From the current situation, China's various goals have basically been achieved. After being restricted, the United States and the West cannot obtain relevant core materials from China. Not only is it very uncomfortable, but also when they want to impose sanctions on China, they will be more cautious. At the same time, China's related industrial chain has been further standardized, not only developing towards the field of high-end finishing, but also largely avoiding the risk of leakage of China's related core technologies. Please like if you agree, welcome to Forward, leave a message and share.